Then his eyes opened. Leo melons from the high soul of the photographer. Launch out. Its target is still the angel of the sword. Leo quickly covered the body of the sword. Then the angel drew the sword. It has been absorbed into the soul of the sea. Photographer exclaimed, even though I get it, the angel with the sword couldn't do anything. But for the time being, I can stand it. It doesn't suck, but I can feel it. Stop the child, and so on. They have all fallen into such endless suffering. Is also the way. I have absolutely no power left to fight against the angel who still draws the sword. Suddenly, high soul of regalia arose. Is that AI can have such dilute power? It flows into my soul. The photographer looked to the side and asked if Kim was there. Who told you? All day in 1,000 lies Sunha food only knows how to eat. So it's time to help me. At this time, the photographer fell back into a mystical vision. IP to Van Pepper. Stop, the child is infusing soul force into the photographer. The photographer looked around. He saw a thick black screen. He identified the sword. This comes from heaven. After I got this sword, I have to create 36. The sword can break the law. Not even the great emperor came. Even the angels draw swords. It's also related to him. The sword is still divine. Directly start acting in my head. The photographer also understands that it's this sword. It's on par with the angel of mercy. If you combine it with the powerful angel of the gods, it's just unimaginable. The wise emperor, how many secrets do you have? Transferring scenes at angel tone. The sisters are talking excitedly to each other. I don't know where you're going. The owner has been looking for it for a few days. Don't stop coming. I can't even see your death. Suddenly, there was a voice from the sky. Have you heard anything? Your fiancé has stopped my son and my sister's death. Is the same person. They are all beautiful women. What an elite person after all. Maybe at the same time, I got the love of these two girls. That voice was that black shadow, and he bared his teeth. Laughing in the distance. All over the sky. It's the sound of the sisters laughing and laughing. Suddenly, a woman threw out a hand. And say murder. Who is it? I dare to enter my own angel. So the flood just soared up. And then the rumbling started. A shadow on the roof gradually appeared. Turned out to be a patriot. This guy clicked his tongue. The girls of the angel. I can't believe it's so hot. I like it so much, the sisters here are screaming in panic. A man of God's love. The man of God. Dare to enter the angel's shadow. What does it mean after all? Someone else also noticed. He is the poet of God's love. Is the fake power of the wind. But a long shot. But also dare to break into the angel of heaven. It really makes others suspicious. Unless there's reinforcements behind the roof. There are people. Another girl found out about them. Then a red-haired woman gave orders to her subordinates. You dare to enter the forbidden land. They didn't catch him. And then a series of human shadows shot up from the ground. They all came out with swords to attack this poet. The swords formed a battle sword. It's surrounding the poetic patriot Kier. Then the swords form a circle. And then I blinking down. The swords, I've jumped in front of this lobster. But these swords have been pushed back. Kier's lobes, he has killed many of the angels. He laughed and laughed. Minor 7 crystal battle of angel yin tone, it's just that. This guy shook his body. Then, he appeared in front of the red-haired woman below. He grabbed the red-haired woman by the neck. Then lift her up. And then he laughed and laughed and laughed. Here, woman's body. There's no stopping the purple light. And then she's completely immobile. The others saw that and screamed in horror. But when the poet, Kier, let go, the woman had vanished into a cloud of black smoke. Others dare not do anything. Just standing there, screaming deacon. Then suddenly, there was a sound. Say move to poetry to liver. Dare to assault the angel tone. I can't forgive. The poet now raised his face in surprise. In front of him is the Holy Spirit. She glared at this poet. Then he said, "This is not my old friend. It's been a long time since I've seen the genie." The enraged genie spoke less and wasted his words. She's starting to move. When you see it, be careful. He said, the devil. Your grace is always not equal to mine. That year I was 7. You are the greatest dragon. Now I'm the Dragon King. I only want to fight you, but I also want to fight you. If you come here, then call me a good general. Maybe I love the jewel. I can give you a way of life. The angry spirit waved one hand and said, huh? We are the opposite. I want to see how far you can go. Lin Huang ended his countless air swords from his hands. He showed contempt and laughed a lot. But this guy hadn't laughed long before he panicked. The spirit shouted, "You have practiced martial arts." Immediately, countless swords of air have pierced through this poetic man. The enraged prophet said to die. Even though you and I used to be friends. But who is my angel? I must kill. After being injured, this name, know that you are not the enemy of the Holy Spirit. So it turned into a black air that ran away. The genie's spirit soared up in pursuit. He said he wanted to run away. The spirit turns into a light, chasing after Kier. The disciples below looked up with their eyes wide open. I only see two sides. Continuous explosions in the sky. Specifically, spirit is slapping the face of this lobster. Then suddenly, the hippocampus glanced to the side. The devil also looked at him. The things in front of you make the spirit panic. Then Ra is the love of the gods that have drawn as thick as mushrooms. The students below panicked. This one has thousands. Thousands of people don't. The gods here have spoken. Love God today. I will bring the angel to destroy you. I won't let anyone go. At this time, the southern palace also appeared. She looked coldly up at the sky. Looked carefully at the number of goblins. And then she stopped fighting. Spiritual currents bursting in the sky. A woman came running up and said, "The Lord of Heaven wants to do his best. If you decide to fight, we're just afraid of serious casualties." Southern Bao Fairy Yin asked the flow of the sky flying on, how? The woman replied, "Our faction has a free flow. I want to notify other people, but they're all blocked. Love is soon ready. They've sent hundreds of wild animals out." The male Bao Fairy frowned a little. He then ordered his followers to stop the great battle of heaven and hell. The guards now respectfully listened to the answer, yes, yes. Then start the battle. The gods are coming here. Every winter is called a time of maggots. In the sky of angels, the letters don't stop appearing. And when I saw that, I panicked. Some people can't stand to spray blood on the spot. Then a barrier appeared that made the gods. The cardboard drags to fly, the color falls is left. The god lovers. When I saw my friends flying in color, I screamed, heaven and earth can collect 10 levels of martial arts. On the contrary, I have despised the angel's shadow. The male bow fairy sternly shouted love paralysis. I love God, I dare to go to heaven. Southern bow fairy yin, I will definitely make you go home today. Then the great battle of heaven and earth continued to attack, to stop the hordes of the gods from coming. Suddenly, there's a low-pitched voice. Inferior talent that is also stigmatized here, SAO. This word makes the male archer sweat all over. She's bewildered by her judgment. Think of the sky and the sky and the sky. Being paralyzed is so easy to stop. Love paralysis is the second-ranked player of Love God. Maybe it's normal. Why did he move? Even though God's love is much stronger than ours. But we want to destroy our angels. They will also be severely injured. Don't say Kai. The other 5 priests will not cross their arms. Look at me today, love me. Tone the tiger hero. The opposite is to make others feel insecure. The demon is now also present. He doesn't stop beating out the black air. The male archer silently thought, in recent times there has been the elixir of the regent. The power of angels. We have a very large scale, but in the face of God's love is still equal. Love is over here, swinging your hand to a giant walk. Hit Ra Nambao Fairy Imha. A cold one, then start to attack back love paralysis enough. So, but the love of the paralyzed lover radiated extremely strong. The leaders of the angels. All 7 players screamed bitterly. Ah! The power in the sky has now been reduced. The French guards shouted anxiously at the owner. With our current strength, I'm afraid it won't stop for long. The first ghost loves this paralysis. Why has it become so powerful? His magic is everywhere. He can get his hands on it. Even martial arts. We can't completely stop it either. The owner does not know that the calendar can move forward. If that first female ghost comes too, the war is also under heavy attack. A French guard announced looks like we need to open a big battle. The South Bow is a little quiet. He then ordered the opening of the Great War. This makes love so boring. And then the airflow from the ground goes up. A large boundary formed. Stop the attack of love paralysis. This guy tried to attack, but they didn't break through the boundary. I can see immediately stupid people. Then this guy's body disappeared. Beneath the angel's shadow, it's a pile of rubble now. Southern Palestine Yin said love paralysis has stopped attacking. Then an elder tried to sing Ra. Tell me about this battle. It can at least be stopped for a few days. I hope there are 5 other gods. You can get the news quickly. Support for us. The man of God. Apparently not to attack our great army. What the hell are they playing? The male fairy saw this scene. Not say anything for a while. A French guard came up and asked her too. Maybe they just want to lock us up. The Southern prophecy speaks no matter what. We must also quickly notify the gods. Others rely only on us. It will not be an enemy of goddess love. If there's no promotion medicine, it's our strength. I'm afraid we've been completely destroyed. More, the magic of paralyzed love is filled with a kind of terrifying power. It's cold to the bone. I've never seen his power. Why has it risen so dramatically? Inside thousands of Lai Sanha, the blonde is now spinning her ass away. Stand still in place. He secretly thought, the angel drew the sword and became one with me. The sword does not destroy the immortal body. His humiliation, it's as hard as an angel's sword. Even if it's martial arts, I can't hurt myself at all. Then the photographer also landed on the ground. Stop worrying and ask the photographer what you mean. Then roll your eyes and look at the photographer. The photographer was surprised to ask why. There is something on people. Nie Li covered his mouth with a giggle. When you are practicing, the eyes stopped for a minute, nor leave you. The reason for this, of course, is because you care about me and you care about me. And he said, pretending not to talk, I don't care about you. When the photographer heard it, he laughed. Let's get out quickly. Go back to the temple for a trip. At this time, thousands of Lai San Ha tools appeared. The photographer flew out of it. He saw the scene in front of him. For the time being, he looked up at the sky and wondered. The seven-colored sky is. The Lord also saw something. Something seems to be wrong. What happened, photographer? Discontinued children notice regency. I heard the master's voice. The angel has been attacked. It has now opened the great battle. It's safe for now. The master told me to go and die quickly. She told her two sisters. You go gather with the others. Let us investigate the situation a bit first. I'll find you in a while. IPZ turned his face down and said nothing. Then look worried and tell him that's okay. Remember to pay attention to safety. Stop worrying and remind yourself right. You are also a little careful. She laughed and reassured the two of them. I am now afraid that even God's love can't hurt us. And then 2 people died and disappeared. Huang Ni, soaring towards the angel's shadow. The photographer here is a monologue. So many years ago. Finally, he has also faced God's love. A member of the God of Love. They are all old competitors. Then the photographer also disappeared. It's 100 miles away now. The 2 elders of the God of Love are called Fang Wu, the 3rd highest ranked player of God's love. I'm standing with you 2 up there. 16 the elders are dead tigers, and the 17 elders are the dead dragons of God's love. Stand next to the tiger. Don't worry, 2 elders. Angel Yin Tone, it's surrounded by thousands of us. A mosquito can't fly out. He glanced over and reminded me of the tiger. Don't be so arrogant. If they escape, one can only ask you the word tiger. Don't talk around this tone, angel. I have arranged heaven and earth. It's 100 miles from here. There are thousands of fire ships. Even martial arts can't escape. The dance is like that. Death long, added the elder wind. The brothers we work for have never been 7. Just wait for an hour for your order. We kill the angels. Kill them. There's not a single one left. He looked bored and told the 2 of them. We don't have to come today. To destroy the angel tone, I want you to arrest 1 more. They must be captured alive. I was surprised and asked, which character is it? That's what makes Zhou Feng so excited. Tiger Death approves. That's right, we have a little bit of a misunderstanding. Angel Yin Tone, there are people that can make us take that seriously. The old man breathed out and said, there's a couple of things. You don't have to know that. The tiger suggested it, or said it. The elder explained. In short, this person's name is Regent. Even though he was young, he only had VI long. But he is already the owner of the Lord of the Rings. The tiger asked Vu. I left it too long to be the owner of Sao. Haha, look, they're really dead. The bartender was not satisfied with the reminder. You'd better look down on other people. The power of God is now deep. Unforeseen. Martial arts masters as much as beef fur. With the power of two people, you can only find death. Death long wonder if the god of dance becomes so strong. So why is there only the name Long? Can be chosen as the master. Wind Dance Elders reminded, so we need to go get him. If you 7 fail, you're the leader. Suddenly, the photographer came to laugh haha. Wind Dance Elders of Love. Special B ranking. If you come to me, I am worthy of such respect. The dance is startled. She aesthetic. He always hears us talk later. Look, Ra's been hiding around for a long time. For such a long time. Not to be discovered. This person is really not simple. The photographer then appeared in front of the elders. And the wind dance companions approach, and I asked you if you are a photographer. Confirmation is not wrong. I saw 2 of Fong Vu Kier's accomplices. The photographer secretly thought of a martial arts peak. 2 martial arts beginners are acquaintances. So he asked the elder. They're not looking for me. I don't know what happened. Unless there's some snow. I want to enjoy. I was surprised to ask you why. The dance is now shy. Rarely is the owner interested. I'm interested in snow. We didn't come here in vain this trip. 2 guys from the tiger and the dragon immediately stupid face Ra. This kind of situation makes 2 idiots. The tiger turned to ask Long. This is the Sao elders dance. Normally, a cold girl doesn't talk much. What does she rely on for the photographer? Death Dragon also rolled his eyes and asked to arrest him. Not because I like him. Then the 2 old men looked down at the scene. Or regalia to the wind. If you knew that the wind elder came to arrest me, even if you raise your hands tied, we are also willing to volunteer. I stand here without moving the wind. The elders can take me home at any time. As he said, he held out his hands. I can see it, and it's stupid. And then she looked backward and backward. I thought he came here alone. Even a guard doesn't bring Theo. Unless there is a trap. Owner of a tone, it could be such a simple character. The tiger is now angry. This kid's got his head in the net. It's stupid to want to die. Let's go get him. But the dragon stopped him and said, wait. Take a look at the expression of Master Feng. The dance told them. This kid is not that simple. The photographer now replies, the Lord is not looking for me. Why are we here? Why didn't you arrest me? Phoenix danced listening to the chin to do charm. She said the regent was joking. I'm not here to arrest the mayor. I came to invite the Lord. The photographer looked surprised. Then asked, may receive an invitation from the elder Feng Vu. It's an honor. Maybe we also have a chance. Become a close friend of Feng Vu. The old man Sao said, and he gave a vile smirk. Wind Dance stunned the mind. This aesthetic of his expression. I knew there was a trap. What kind of trick is he hiding? The old man said with exasperation, as long as the owner doesn't. Don't tell me I love God. No matter which girl. The owner can also take it. The photographer grinned and asked, is your master okay? That's what makes Death Dragon and Death Tiger stupid. The dancer was also surprised. Why do you know those two? Tiger and Dragon turned to each other. The owner is a woman who doesn't know. Wind dance. Every year, the owner of the temple comes too. Even a lot of elders. I have not met the owner either. Whether it's the face, it's also often the carcass. If not close by. Why do you know the gender of the owner? Question asked Wind. The Lord has not yet met our Lord. Why say this again? The photographer laughed back at something he hadn't seen before. Your boss and I are best friends. I have heard of Death Long and Death Tiger. He turned his mouth and looked at her calmly. I do not know that your master is a woman. I know a lot of her secrets. After listening to the dance, I laughed. The owner was joking. On the contrary, I want to hear it. What secret does our master have? The photographer smiled back, haha. We know a lot about this. For example, your master likes to eat breakfast. Made by the elders. The dance is now stupid. Ask if you have a psychic. The photographer laughed again, ha ha ha. The leprechaun was joking. With brother Vi of Fong Vu the Elder. If I use mind reading with you. Maybe you can't feel it. Even if we know something. That the elders don't know. I was surprised to ask, what is it? The photographer also noticed the martial arts eyes of the two men. Death Long and Death Tiger. Then the two Kier startled. The regent proposed to ordain the elders. Can we take a step and talk? The dance is happy to agree. In the elder Feng Yu's expression. The tiger's death spoke to the elder. Don't be seduced by that guy. This person seems to know the ins and outs. Not a good person. I heard two of his followers remind me of that. Being hesitant at the moment. The photographer said bluntly, Wind dance elder, whether you want to hear it or not is up to you. The photographer turns his back. The dance has also changed. Then go back and tell your staff. In my heart, I know what to do. You don't need many words. The last wind blows according to photographer. When the photographer returned, he saw the wind in the back. He threw a hand. Immediately, the space boundary is created. Cover both of you. The wind says to the photographer, this is the soundproof method. The photographer seems serious. Tell the wind what we're talking about next. The elder's demeanor is absolutely not to be surprised. The wind is sweating, but urge the regent to speak up. There's no need to go around. The photographer bent his head down. And then he's sinister. Slowly tell the truth. I am the religion of your master. This word shows what is the level of the photographer's face. It is true that thousands of people have won. Don't say wind. The elder immediately drew a sword. Directly on the neck of the photographer. Angry Wind shouts, Sao can it be? You lie and you insult our master. I will kill you. Although he had a sword on his neck, he was not afraid. You just need to move your head. But he's still standing. Casually respond to the wind. The old man didn't listen to me. The angry wind shouted at me, but I wanted to see it. What words can come out of your dog's mouth? The pure Lord is the God of love. You can be with humanity. Cosmetic photographer, huh? It takes so much effort. Maybe she didn't dare kill herself. What about the owner of God's love? Battle spirit inflammation. The moon poured dirty water on him. This woman is not afraid. Haha, in a previous life, God's people killed countless disciples of his own. If you don't love God, to prevent the final battle, In a previous life, maybe we can win the Holy Spirit. God has people under the command of the Emperor. They are all ancestors of the moon. It's not them. We won't lose so badly. It's a pity to love. It's just a piece of God's will. They were used to death without knowing it. The entire dragon kingdom has been sanctified. There's no chance for them to survive. My dog is always the wrong dog. The loyalty of the Holy Emperor. I want to beat the Holy Emperor. You must destroy the God of love. Then the photographer calmly said, Wind Dance Elder, do you know on the wrist of the moon grave, whether or not there's a dragon dance press on the thumb? What does the dance show when you ask this? Even if you can see, you can't prove your relationship with her. The photographer said more. Wind Dance Elder, he is one of the closest to the grave. Of course, you have to know. This book is not just in one place. There are 6 places on her body where there are dragon seals. There's 2 places on the leg, one near the shoulder blades. The other 2 places, the photographer just talked about it. It's been blocked enough by the wind. In the heart of the dance, I think it's okay. I used to shower the owner. Of course, I know the location of Long Van. What the photographer said is absolutely accurate. Maybe the owner really has a connection with humans. Why is it possible? If you move outside, how big of a shock will it be in love? The photographer smiled softly, then asked the elder. It seems a little suspicious. No need to worry. I just need to explain. Then the elders will understand. The photographer thought, before my great war in Moon's grave, when lying on the dead river, Moon Tissue has launched Long Vanan. Long literature is dazzling, even if you look through my clothes. It can also be seen clearly. Lie without blinking. In fact, I'm a mad feng shui lover.